Okay, everyone, welcome to another news breakdown. All right, so this time we're going to be doing multiple topics, not just one big topic, and it's going to be just one video. So moving forward, Thursdays will be for news reactions, okay? I have 7 topics here with me, and we'll be looking at them one by one. So the first one that I have here is just called Cocomelon Woke Agenda. Okay, so Cocomelon, I believe, is the kid show that's very popular on YouTube. Because I always see them YouTube videos with 900 billion views or something like that. So Cocomelon is a popular kid show that's on YouTube, and I also know it's on Netflix. So how we're going to be doing it is I'm going to Google live the headlines and read through, then give you my thoughts. So I'll be Googling now. Okay, so I've read through it. The only recent article I saw about it was from the India Times, which, surprise, surprise, they are saying that the people who are conservative in the US are migrating to an app called Yippee. So I think what this is just a marketing strategy for the Yippee apps and apps like it, really hyper fixating on the quote unquote woke issues of Cocomelon. I think I saw pictures of a boy looking child wearing, like a tutu and a crown. So they're implying that, that's a transgender situation. Yeah, it all doesn't make sense. I also saw parents that appear to be of the same gender identity as well. So they are hyperfixating on these issues, and they are just, they just want to market their app as far as I'm concerned. So, because all these articles only pop up when there's some alternative. Conveniently, there's some alternative you can jump ship to. I also saw a post of it on Instagram, and the comments are just reading, canceling my subscription, canceling my Netflix. You want to cancel your entire Netflix because a boy child in a kid show that you weren't watching is wearing a tutu. Okay, that's fine. It's just a marketing strategy for the EP app and apps like it. I also know, I think there's one they call PragerU. That one's, I think, even a bit more popular. Yeah, this isn't the first time I've heard of things like this. Probably every other day there's some form of, cancel this, it's too woke, cancel this, it's too woke. I think people now generally, or at least from what my feed tells me, are getting tired of the whole it's too woke thing. People are just starting to realize, okay, no, some things just make sense and some other things don't make sense. Yeah, so that's just it on that opinion. So the next story I have here is Nicki Minaj and Cardi B beef. I mean, this isn't news. Okay, because Cardi B just dropped the album, right? Okay, so that's why this is news now. So I'm going to Google it because I have been seeing screenshots of tweets and all of that. So I'm going to Google it and come back. Okay, so I'm on the Rolling Stone article. All right, and my hope is that this Rolling Stone article covers everything. So I've glanced through the article, and it's basically discussing the back and forth between the two artists. And, it's you said this one, she said this one, you said this one, she said this one. I'm also seeing one line here that looks interesting. She also shared Nicki AI-generated images likening Cardi B to the children's TV show character Barney. Okay, so Nicki Minaj essentially is going off of one of those, what people call her C rants. It happens. I think that's just her approach to conflict online. What I suspect, all right, don't call me a conspiracy theorist, but what I suspect is that at times these beefs, they sell records. Not even at times. We've literally seen the artists come back years later to confess like, this was staged. Take clear example, Brandy and Monica that are now appearing to be best of friends now, but back in the 90s, they were selling a duet record, mind you. So not even like trading records. No, it was a duet record. And they confessed like, hey, the beef was staged. And, looking back, like, it's so funny because they were on the same track, and they also had their own individual hits around the time. So, yeah, now I'm also looking at this Cardi B tweets, and that's the only tweet that I'm seeing linked here because maybe Nicki Minaj took hers down because they were too incendiary. So, dear Onika Tanya Maraj, this is my last time responding to you. This past Twitter now, because this past Twitter now, okay, we'll need to look through that and just summarize that, okay. But yeah, basically Cardi B is saying that Nicki Minaj should get help. A lot of people also in the comment section from a post that I can see around Instagram are saying Nicki should get help, she's too grown for this, she's pushing 50, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, basically nothing new. because this has happened frequently. I think that this is a marketing strategy. I'm not going to say, okay, like there isn't actual animosity. After all, it wasn't it in 2018, Cardi B literally assaulted Nicki Minaj. And they've had violent responses thrown at each other severally. So it could be a marketing strategy, because for those of you who aren't engaged in like the rap music community, you won't see it that way as a marketing strategy, because you haven't really been on the side of discovering someone new by virtue of Nicki Minaj's rants. Take, for example, how I discovered Lato. Full confession, how I discovered Lato was because of Nicki Minaj, a Nicki Minaj rant. How I discovered Megan Thee Stallion's Hiss, right? That song she threw not even a diss now that I even listened to the track. But that song, how I discovered it was because of a Nicki Minaj rant. So Nicki Minaj rant is free PR for all these artists who happen to be females and women that do music in the rap scene. She's also, I think, dragging Jay-Z into it and other artists and all of that. I'm also seeing one here, Billboard, you're fired. We don't know. We don't know the true intentions behind all these things, really. But if let's take them as face value, that they are genuinely expressing animosity towards several parties, that's Nicki Minaj now. Well, she has her rights to do so in the medium that she is doing so, I believe. But is it moral for her to be doing things this way? Honestly, people grieve differently, people vent differently. I'm also seeing things that are allegations from Cardi B and other people in comment sections and Twitter replies from screenshots I'm seeing here. They're saying that, her husband is exploiting her, letting her use illicit substances so that she's distracted and he could, take advantage of her money. It's just a sad situation, really. It appears to be sad, but like I said, it could all be staged. Not that I'm willing to just downplay an entire human being's grief as some act. No, it could be staged, because I've learned not to trust all these beef things. If this is genuine, if this is from a genuine place of anger or, feeling betrayed and all of that, I wish the two of them well. I wish that, for them, peace in both their lives. Maybe at some point, I hope they will be able to rekindle what appeared to be a friendship. I don't think they were ever friends. From 2017, when Bodak Yellow blew up, I don't think they were ever friends per se. Not like her and Megan Thee Stallion, because I remember Megan Thee Stallion, they even did a whole track together. So yeah, if they can, maybe bury the hatchet someday, maybe that's what I hope for them. If these allegations of Nicki Minaj being exploited by her husband and people around her are true, I hope that, she is recovered from that situation, either by herself or if there needs to be third-party assistance from that. I also hope that whoever they are alleging is doing such acts, they stop. Just stop, really. And also the Jay-Z things I'm seeing here. We'll never really know how deep they go, but for a celebrity of her status to start throwing these types of allegations around, because there are always allegations until there's evidence substantiating them, right? So for a celebrity of her status to be throwing out these allegations, my hope is that they are all resolved. Everything, there is peace. All right, and even if there is drama, it's not going to be something where literally lives and the lives of children are possibly at risk. Okay, so I get that as human beings, we value peace because we know what drama looks like, okay? But we should at some point decide for ourselves, okay, if we're to have drama, let it be like a controlled kind of drama. Take, for example, politics is a controlled type of drama that I can accept we need, all right? Yes, if you're intelligent enough, you can see through politics as just something we're wasting our time for the most part, right? Not when politics affects lives, but for the most part, politics is just something that we just, laugh about or just get some sort of controlled tension over, except for when it affects lives. So things like bodily autonomy shouldn't be on the political discussion board, but that's what also makes it interesting, the whole back and forth, having something to fight for, having to repeal some legislation, the journey to implementing some new law, so that's what makes it fun. We need some fun outlet. We can't just be stagnant human beings, because somehow I hate that human brains work this way. We can't value peace either. We claim we just want world peace, world peace, world peace. The thing is, human beings in many ways don't like peace, on an individual scale. And this is me going off on a tangent, but maybe I'll do a more focused recording on this one of these Wednesdays. I already have a topic for next Wednesday, but yeah, human beings really don't value peace. So this is just another reflection of that, and I wish the two of them well. The next headline I have here is Snapchat is now charging for your memories. Okay, to keep your memories on Snapchat. It doesn't reek of corporate greed, really. It could be that they genuinely need the funds, because I imagine there's so much both in the public and in the private spheres of Snapchat, right? There's so much data being stored. So it could be just, them crying out for help, like, hey, we need your help. All right, we can't keep storing this data and all of that. And it also begs the question, like all these other companies, how are they able to cope with storage and all of that? So yeah, this isn't a corporate greed thing. It could be, I don't know, maybe they have the funds and I haven't really checked. But from just the logic perspective, it does make sense to charge for memory space, because all these servers, they aren't infinite, I believe. So yeah. Okay, so I have another one here. The next one is the AI actor and musician controversy. I have been seeing headlines of this. I'm not going to call the companies per se, but yeah, let me look up one. So I'm just going to Google one. Okay, so I have a Yahoo Entertainment article here. So an AI artist just landed a 3 million record deal. Now, how does that happen? Who's getting the money? You understand? Obviously, there'll be like a team controlling the looks, the voice, and all of that, training the singer's model. It's one thing when you make AI generated music just for the fun of it, but then you make record deals as much as 3 million. What are you saying? I also saw another headline that an AI movie is going to be released in the cinemas. So it's no longer just some YouTube hobby anymore. It's now being legitimized in Hollywood and even the music industry. This is insane. Well, realistically, it can be done. Optimistically, it is not a good thing. Pessimistically, it's the end of the world. What makes music, right? What makes music and acting so valuable is the fact that human beings have done them, all right? So we as human beings know our limitations. So when people are able to push through those limitations in such glaring ways. Take, for example, they are good singers or they are good actresses. That's part of what gives those things value. Yes, I understand that EDM has been a thing, but even EDM, you want to throw under the bus as, there isn't any human effort. There is human effort to making EDM music. You have to arrange your stems, your kicks, to make it as dynamic as possible. All right. So no one listens to 4/4 chord progression vanilla tracks unless maybe it's, lowest common denominator tracks as we talked about yesterday. Yeah, it is not a good thing. It's not a good thing in my opinion. I do understand that the companies want to make money, and that's just, the byproducts of capitalism that we are seeing. Making money with the cheapest amount of cost, that's just a byproduct of capitalism. The AI artists, the people who are pushing the AI artists, the people who are behind the AI artists are the ones that I believe and I hope are the ones making this 3 million at least. Let it be that some humans are gaining off of this. But yeah, it's going to now be annoying because what's going to happen is you're going to hear something on your music streaming services. And then you're going to be like, I like this. Let me go throw my money at this artist. I like their voice. I like their talent. I want to support this talent. Not knowing that it is a computer-generated thing. And mind you, as is all ubiquitously known now, I hope, AI voices, the singers, they are trained off of other singers. All right. So, and they're just mixed onto a point that they sound different enough. If you listen well at all these artists, you're going to hear traces of popular singers in them. They mash up a lot of popular singers in them, and just to produce something that sounds generic enough but doesn't sound exactly like some other singers, to prevent copyright lawsuits. So there's that. And then there's also the fact that, the talent industry generally is being undervalued because of computer graphics. So when I see things like, okay, AI should be banned for these purposes, I mean, it does make life easier in some regard, but when it comes to, its impact on the environment, like the fans and everything, and it's not just AI, mind you, when it comes to impact on the environment, there are so many systems that contribute negatively to climate change and all of that. So it's not just AI. So many systems contribute violently in that regard. Needless productions of methane and all of that. So we could also look at those ones. I feel like even AI is now even the boogeyman that you're pushing towards everybody, like, oh no, look at AI, look at AI. So we could forget, like, what's it called, the oil industry and all of that. So yeah, this is unethical. This is kind of immoral. I do not support it now. At least this is just my opinion as of today, being the 2nd of October. I do not support this, but my hope really is that this 3 million is going to human beings that aren't the company just saying, oh, we're giving 3 million to themselves. No, human beings should collect this money. At least let it be that, okay, they've created an avatar. I mean, in many ways, right? Let's poke holes at ourselves in the 3D metaverse community. If your avatar, right? Some of your avatars are raking in a lot. Okay. Remember, the Mandy Michaela or something like that, the CGI singer, right? At least that one probably had a real voice behind her and not some CGI thing. Yeah. Some of your avatars are raking back. Like a lot of you, people in the metaverse space, that your avatars, Instagrams and TikToks have hundreds of thousands of followers and all of that. So yeah, it's kind of like that, but at least your avatar took effort to make. This one is just prompt production. Okay, so I'm not going to put the two of you in the same boat. And if your avatar does have a voice, that is your voice, just that your avatar is the physical representation of yourself in that instance. So yeah, let's not group the two of them in that regard. I think the other headlines that are here, they're just things that I won't need to Google, so I'm just going to read them and give light commentary. So apparently Obama, he made his official music debut as a DJ in Arizona. Okay, good for him. Then the US will be getting their own version of TikTok. Okay, let me touch lightly on this one. This is how propaganda spreads. Propaganda, in my view, right, isn't only when you are seeing something. It could be also when you are not seeing something, when certain news outlets are being obscured from your view. And I'm surprised that I'm seeing some of the things that I see on, Instagram that is owned by a US entity, a US-based entity as well. I'm seeing them also on YouTube, owned also by US-based entities. I'm surprised that I'm even seeing certain headlines. So when it comes to TikTok, people are alleging, oh, it's going to be propaganda. I think it could be propaganda. It could also just be greed. It could also just be greed. Like, oh, the bigger platforms are all based in the US. You joined the club, all right? And I like that there was visible tension to, not letting that happen. And all that, because it appears to just be like a, grab all kind of situation. Like, oh, this is too big. And it's shocking that TikTok has come this far, But, this just looks like another, grabbing thing, like a power control thing, really. Not necessarily that this was needed. It wasn't needed because the app was functioning just fine. And, there were now allegations of spyware. Literally the US-based entities aren't supposedly, allegedly, doing too far from that as well. So, you understand. And in the comments around the time that the initial ban happened, because TikTok was banned for like some hours in the US. Around the time the initial ban took place, there were so many bot-like comments. Clearly these were bots. Just saying, oh no, this is a good thing, You understand? Also, I saw another headline that's kind of related to this. So yeah, in the United Kingdom, there's this Online Safety Act going on that requires you to have your ID input when you want to access sites that are over 18. right? Restricted to users over 18. That sounds nice until people started saying that to access certain Wikipedia pages, if not wikipedia.org itself, they needed to impute their ID, which was insane because you could understand if it's like NSFW material, lewd content and all of that. But people requiring, age verification to access the Wikipedia, that is up for debate. If it's not even up for debate, in my opinion, because you could be like, okay, a kid, quote unquote, could look up the reproductive systems of mammals and all of that and get all turned up. I mean, they're going to see that in their textbooks, okay? They're going to see such in their textbooks. Wikipedia is just a big textbook. Wikipedia won't show you intentionally or beyond scientific purposes things like nudity and NSFW content. Okay, so there really isn't a debate to be had there. People are also alleging like certain news sites, certain political spaces aren't accessible without the ID. It's all just a control thing. And in many ways, I can see the argument for it being a tool for propaganda as well. So propaganda kind of works both ways, both what you're seeing and what you are not seeing or what they're trying to let you not see. Then also, what's the last headline here? I think I'm at the last headline. Yes, I'm at the last headline, and that is Elon Musk's net worth is now 500 billion. So that's $500 billion now. Okay, so when it comes to net worth, as you know, most of us understand, it isn't the money that is in your bank account at a given point, because it could be more, it could be less. So this brings up the conversation of, okay, how much money is too much for one person? Should billionaires even exist and all of that? 500 billion is a big number, but as we've come to find out in life, there's always going to be bigger numbers every day. You know, at some point, 1 million was considered a big number. Now, 500 billion, it seems to be the benchmark. How to not react to this, in my opinion, is, this is mine one day. This is mine one day. I mean, we can have big dreams, but then again, understand what a net worth is really, because a net worth isn't that you have that money. Even if you want to be rich, pray specifically, pray that you want to have good, big money and not that that you're going to have a net worth of 500 billion, because that 500 billion, I believe it's like from investors and stock and all of that. And I think he also has government contracts with the United States. Yeah, so all those investments and his assets and his companies, those are what accrue to make up the 500 billion, and not necessarily he has that in his wallet. He's probably broke. I don't know about his finances. I don't think such people publish their financial records. Yeah, so it has happened. It shouldn't be news per se. It shouldn't be celebrated either, because, like I said, it's just saying, okay, this person has this asset that is worth this. It's possible if he liquidates everything, he's possibly not even going to get up to that, because people need to buy. Okay, so yeah, he's just worth that. That's his price tag on all his assets combined, all the things affiliated with him. That's just his price tag at this point. So it's one of those things that happens. You know, so people also are making the argument like, how much money is too much money? This is greed. This shouldn't be happening in society. I mean, we're too far gone when it comes to capitalism. We're just too far gone, especially for those people pushing it in the United States specifically, right? Because the United States, as I'm discovering day by day, is so polarized. Many Americans can't even agree on basic things, like literally this whole bodily autonomy thing. It's so like insane. I get the aspects of politics that need to happen, but some things are just unnecessary points for tension, really. And yeah, so socialism really can't hold in current day America, really. So they're all just coping with capitalism as far as I'm concerned. And because why it can't work, just a quick on why it can't work is you need a society that thinks alike, all right? You need a society where almost everyone is on board. Fundamentalists, not when even down to your news outlets, right? Your politicians, they are literally saying things that are verbal wars. So it can't work in such a country. Yeah, so it's happened, it's happened. It's just a price tag. No one knows the amount of money in these people's bank accounts. And yeah, it's just a passive headline. I can't imagine that it was on this list, but it's happened, it's happened. Yeah, it doesn't mean much. All right. It's not the scary headline that people are thinking it is. And to those people that are saying like, oh, me one day, me one day. I mean, it could be you one day, but you could still be broke. So be specific with your dreams. And that brings us to the end of this week's breaking news reaction. I mean, nothing here really is breaking as it was last week. Not that I'm hoping for people's jugulars to be exposed every week. No, that's not good. But yeah, in comparison to the last one that we did, it's a lot tamer. Thankfully, it's a lot tamer, really, which should be what human beings should aspire for, and not every time we're looking for the next big conflict to get ourselves all riled up. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. If you like this recording, be sure to leave a like. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is SOB3D. What we do 3D related videos. So we do tutorials on Tuesdays for now. And then on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do commentary. And on Fridays, I like to react to like new music and all of that. So if that sounds like your vibe, just be sure to subscribe. Tell people also that you think that is their vibe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.